What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on? Oh, let me get my stuff. What's going on, y'all? I hope y'all can see me. It's a glare up in the room because there's natural light coming in and everything. But hey, it is what it is. As long as you can hear me, we good. Um, I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. I just wanted to pop on here real quick and just to discuss a little something. See, this is what I was talking about like in my what it is video, because I know I don't get all the topics in that some of you guys probably want me to talk about, but I just don't, mention or whatever. But this type of format, just a little short video, or no matter what it is about a singular topic, we can do some stuff like that throughout the week or whatever, something that you want me to, give my opinion on it or whatever. Y'all can put it down in the comments or whatever, or you can send it to me, my Instagram or Twitter DMs and all that stuff if you don't want, everybody to know if it's that type of thing. It could be about anything. But I literally been seeing a whole bunch of stuff, and I think it's been happening for the past few days, and I kind of like ignored it a little bit. But this popped up on one of the internet blogs, on Instagram, I should say, and they had posted something about Saweetie, because it's just been a topic of discussion about the fact that I guess Saweetie dropped the EP or whatever, and it sold less than 2,000 copies or 2,000 copies or whatever. First of all, we have to understand that there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, right? And so the person that was talking about it, the person said basically you have 13 million followers, you get hundreds of thousands of likes on your pictures all the time, and yet you only sold 2,000 copies. Something is not right. The math is not adding up. Like, if I only sold that many copies, 2,000 copies on an EP or whatever it is, I just delete all my stuff at this moment. And, people are saying, kind of agreeing with the person, but I'm just not understanding how come people don't understand how this thing works. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one to try to, shade a person when they're in their lowest or whatever, but we have to be honest. We have to be real with things. And this is a side of, this can play into like the social media influencer aspect of it, because everybody these days, it's a lot of people these days that unfortunately they don't have aspirations to be actual professionals, like, the doctors, the teachers, the, lawyers, or even entertainment wise, like sports stars or whatever, or other fields of, IT and all this stuff. They want to be social media influencers. Okay, that's what they want to do. They feel like it's something so easy. That's what I think it is, because in this day and age, it's like everybody is, for the most part, everybody is so fame driven. People, are more so about getting rich fast, getting a lot of popularity fast, So it's like, let me go get my followers up on TikTok. Let me do this dance. Let me do this thing. You know what I'm saying? Let me do this prank. Let me put this up. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it doesn't come easy. They feel like it's an easy thing to do. That's what I look at it, because, in this day and age, we have seen a whole bunch of social media people, influencers these days, just popping up, and we see how quickly they get so much popularity. And some of them so quickly get endorsement deals, and we see them parlay it, into doing big things. So for some people, it do work out for the best, and it works out really, really quick. Okay. And it has some of us that's been in this game for a minute. And would I call myself a social media influencer? No, because I don't feel like I influence anybody to do anything. Okay. Because girl, please. Would I want somebody to do what I do? No. I want y'all to do what y'all want to do. I don't feel like I'm a social media influencer. I I just feel like I'm me. You know what I'm saying? I never got on social media or, seeking, that was never my goal. That was never my goal. And I feel like that's the difference between the social media people that are coming up now, that are getting things done now, than it is back in the day. And when I say back in the day, probably like a good 5-10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? When we first really popped out, a lot of our goals, a lot of our goals was not to just come on and to get fame off of it, and to get, a whole bunch of followers, and to get a whole bunch of money or whatever. Most of us, our goal was just to have fun with it. A lot of us did not know what YouTube would bring, or, that we would be on a social media platform like Twitter, or that there would be something like an Instagram or a TikTok or whatever, you know. And so a lot of our mind frames was just, this is fun. And then along the way, we see that, as the tide and the time start to change, that, oh, brands are looking for, people to do things because you have a little bit of influence, and that's where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? You have a little bit of influence, and okay, well, maybe you can do this and maybe you can do that. And even till this day, in my mind, I will say that, looking at some of these people that's coming up now, and seeing them get the endorsement deals, like these real endorsement deals, these real brand deals or whatever, because you have to be careful. Somebody asked me about how, to get into YouTube, and the do's and the don'ts, and how the things work. Once you get into YouTube or whatever, and, you finally, because your following is not going to come instantly, and that's what a lot of people fail to realize, and I keep saying this all the time. You have to be consistent. You have to put out something that people actually want to hear about, which is a lot of things. You're gonna find your niche anywhere. It's a niche for everything, and it's gonna be followers and consumers for any and everything. You know what I'm saying? So don't feel like you have to do what everybody else is doing. Just because everybody, for the most part, that I follow, we're talking about. Ouch, shit! What the fuck? Hold on, y'all. There we go. We're talking about, entertainment news, and, reality TV, or this or that. You don't have to come on here, or social media in period, or in general, and talk about that. You could talk about whatever the hell it is that you want to talk about. And I guarantee you it's going to be a niche for that. And it's going to be somebody that's going to follow you, and you can build you a crowd, build you a following for that, It's okay to go outside the box or whatever, if that's what you truly wants to do. You know what I'm saying? But some of us just think like, wow, we've been doing this for a minute, and it just takes this little simple thing for a person to, pop off, and they only been on here for a year. And that's literally what it is. Okay? You see these young kids come on, young adults come on in their late 20s, or no, early 20s, probably teens or whatever, and next thing you know, after a year, because they look pretty, or they have this certain type of look, or they're putting this certain type of thing out, and all of a sudden they got hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are seeking fame. Some of them are seeking that attention, and that's their goal. So therefore, you see other people that are looking up to that, and that's why they just automatically want to be social media influencer, thinking that it's going to have the same effect with them. And that's not necessarily the case. That's like a false mirror, a false advertisement, because it can happen for some, and then it can't happen for others. You know what I'm saying? It's just depending on which way you're trying to go. You know what I'm saying? And that also parlays, I feel, into like any type of industry, whether it's the entertainment industry, music industry, movie, sports, all of that, and the whole situation with Saweetie is the same thing. Just because you have so many followers, that does not mean that everybody that follows that person actually supports that person in the actual thing that they do. And that's what it comes down to with Saweetie. It's so many factors with Saweetie that could possibly be the reason why she only sold, I guess, the 2,000 albums or copies that she sold. of this EP, because having followers obviously does not equate to sales. And if you don't know that by now, just look at your favorite artists right about now. Look at your Beyonce's, look at your Nicki Minaj's, look at your Cardi B's, look at your who else is out here? Oh Lord, who else is big? Look at your little babies, look at your the baby, look at your, all your Drakes and everything. And these people have millions of followers, millions and millions of followers. But when their albums and stuff drop, they do not have millions and millions of albums sold within that first week. Or the album don't even get to millions of followers or millions of albums sold. It probably get to a million albums sold way down the line, but not off the back these days, okay? And I say these days because back in the day, we have to understand also that the music industry is not the exact same that it was back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I say probably a good 10, 15 years ago. Because back in the day, like when I was younger, and especially when I was growing up, and probably to the time when I became like a sophomore, maybe a junior at college, that's when shit started to fucking change for real with the music industry. Back in the day, people, real artists, and I'm not just talking about, let me not say real artists in general, when their music came out, you literally had to get your ass up and go to an actual store to go pick up the physical copy. There was no streaming. And then most of these artists, they were out here with, and that meant that the company, the music company that they are with, the record labels that they were with, actually had to put forth the effort to actually put out promotion. You had the A&R, you had the publicist, you had the media training, you had all of that. And again, promotion. You had to promote that album, because that's the only way that people would be able to see these people and know that the album is coming out and want them to get sales and people to get out there and to buy it. Because you actually had to get your ass up and go buy that shit. So if I don't know nothing about it, I'm not finna go buy nothing. And I don't see any promotion about it. I don't see a video about it. I haven't really heard the song being played that much. And okay, that one song is cute, but what else? Let me see what the video's giving. Let me see what the second single's giving. It was a whole rollout. It was a whole fucking rollout. And some of these artists don't understand what that is. And some of these fans don't get what it is either too. Because back in the day, especially when they was trying to break a new artist, especially, you'll put a song out on the radio. It'll tease here, tease there. And then probably that same song or another song will come out that'll be the official single for their new album. And then there'll be a video. Before the album comes out, they'll let that video and that song rock for a good 3 to 4, maybe even 6 months. Okay? Before they put out another single, and then they'll drop the album. But in the midst of all of that, they're doing promotion here. They're on this talk show. They're performing here on this show. They're talking about it. They're giving interviews and all this stuff. That was the way that they gave promotion. They went on little mini tours and everything, small, big, all of that, just to get their names out there. Just to put it out there that, we have something going on. Okay? And then the album would drop. 9 out of 10 if those, interviews and those, TV spots where they performed or whatever, they did well, the album would do well. And back then, baby, artists of all kinds, these motherfuckers was selling almost 1 million albums a fucking week. And that was people getting their asses up, going to the store and actually having to buy the album, a physical CD copy, okay? Not just a streaming service. Now when the streaming services came in, it kind of fucked that up a little bit, because it gave us the options of just listening to it and not necessarily having to buy it. Because I have not brought an album, a physical album. Well, Renaissance was the last physical album I brought, and that was just because it was in a box set, okay? But technically speaking, it actually was the last album, digital album, that I brought too, because I'm the type of person that I will listen to a song, then check out a person's album, stream it on Tidal or whatever, because that's the streaming service that I got. And then if I like it over there, or if I automatically like you in general, I'll go over to Apple and buy a digital copy of your album. That's just what I do automatically the first day that it comes out, you know, and then I'll stream it. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. So I have more downloads of albums that I just streamed once than I actually brought. You know what I'm saying? And so the streaming services has made it, they have different set of rules. You have to get so many streams just to equal an album sold or whatever. And so, you know, it is what it is. I would say it's kind of more difficult now to sell things than it is back in the day to actually just get up and go buy the fucking physical copy. You know what I'm saying? And that automatically be count as an album sold, you know, because nowadays people not listening to the whole fucking albums, not listening to the whole fucking EP. They just listening to the one particular song or a couple of songs that they like. They go through it and be like, I don't like the way that start. I don't like the way that start. Ooh, I like this beat. Let me listen to that. Ooh, I like this beat. Let me listen to that. I don't like that. Skip, 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 skip. Okay, I'm gonna download this one and this one. That's it. We had the pick of downloading songs instead of the whole album. We can just download the fucking song, you know? So the industry is just really different from what it was back in the day, and it is what it is, and we have to take into account of that. And I just don't understand why people these days cannot just enjoy the music or the artists that they like without have to worrying so much about streams and numbers, because at the end of the day it's not affecting you, it's affecting the artist, but it's not affecting you. So I just don't understand how come, you know, fans or like people, especially on Twitter, they make it such a big deal to compare and contrast artists and their streams and the numbers that they sold and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, and you want a cookie for knowing that? What is that gonna do? Meanwhile, this artist is still out there regardless of if they sold 50,000 copies, 5,000 copies, 50 copies, or 500,000 copies, or 5 million copies. They are still out here doing what it is that they're supposed to be doing. They're doing what they're passionate about. But yet you are sitting behind or laying in the bed on your phone, and you're looking up their stats, and it's doing what for you? It's not paying you. Well, what's the satisfaction? Because at the end of the day, you don't work for this artist. You're not getting paid for this artist, and you damn sure not getting acknowledged. So, you know, like, I just don't get the point of stan culture, fan culture these days. Is just really icky to a certain extent. You know, that's why I just support who I support in peace. I don't talk about other people if they don't, you know, sell this, because I don't care what a person sells. I don't care. If the music sounds good to me, I'm going to fucking buy it. I'm going to fucking support it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just it. And that's just how it should be. But, you know, people just don't understand that these days. I guess it's because of these young kids or whatever, the new generation of how things are going. And, you know, people talking about, again, because Saweetie has 13 million followers and she gets all these thousands of likes on her picture. Mind you, I don't follow Saweetie on anything, okay? Her shit just pops up on my timeline when people talking about like hip hop or, you know, certain artists or whatever, and they mention her, and it be up in those suggested tweets that just be popping up on your Twitter that you ain't even following the account. Like, why is these people popping up on my shit? It's one of those things, you know? And I have nothing against Saweetie. Saweetie's a fun girl. I like the fact that, you know, she parlayed getting a whole bunch of sponsorships out before she even had her first album out. Y'all do realize Saweetie ain't got her first album out. She has yet to put out a debut album. And at this point, given the way that things have been going, I wouldn't be mad if she don't put it out. Okay? I would just rather her be a it girl. You know, not a music girl, a it girl. And sometimes, you know, we have to understand that just because you have a whole bunch of followers or whatever, it does not always equate to a whole bunch of sales, a whole bunch of support. You know, you have people, because this is with Saweetie, I can see the disconnect and I can see where things went wrong. If we want to point out some things, these are some of the factors. Saweetie took too long to release this little EP. Simple as that. If we want to put it out there, Saweetie took too long to release this little EP. That's the main reason right there, okay? When Quavo and Takeoff put out their album, and, you know, Most of the things that got addressed and got hyped up and was circulating was whatever song it was, the way he was addressing or implying, making innuendos that she possibly cheated with somebody he knew, or that was the rumor that was going around. And even if it wasn't true, he was playing into it as a strategy, a marketing strategy to get people interested or whatever, you know, because it was already rumors that she was doing this and she did this with Offset and all this stuff or whatever. We don't know if it's facts or not, okay? So instead of just saying, fuck this shit, I'm finna drop my shit right now, okay? Or the next week or whatever. She waited a little bit too long to drop it. You know, even though she put it out there saying that she's gonna address things, you know, in the EP, she still waited too long to put it out there. And then Takeoff passed away. And then, you know, when it finally dropped, there really was no promotion for it, okay? People literally just didn't really care, you know? And when you finally put it out there, it's like people like, I don't think she should have put this out here. It's too soon. It's too... No, fuck that. Okay? First of all, Quavo was allowed to say what he said. Okay? And so she got to wait to spare his feelings just because he going through a little grieving process. That ain't got shit to do with her. That ain't got shit to do with her because y'all already knew that it was coming. So now she got to change up her shit. It's the same thing the way that Drake did what he did. Drake pushed her Lost album back a week or whatever because of the passing of Takeoff, and he still had time to take out those lines or whatever about the may or may not be about Meg the Stallions, you know, and he kept it in there because of what? Controversy sells. Whether it's true, whether he was really talking about her, he knew it was going to get the people talking, so therefore let me keep that in there, okay? Same thing with her. Fuck that. That ain't got shit to do with me, and no disrespect to Takeoff because, you know, we love Takeoff, but at the end of the day, sparing Quavo feelings ain't got shit to do with her. He didn't spare her feelings at all, so therefore go ahead and put the shit out, you know? But again, the timing of it, she should have been put it out. That's one. That's two. Three, there was no promotion for it. Certain artists, you know, I blame fucking Beyonce to a certain extent because, bitch, let me tell you something. Ever since Beyonce dropped that surprise album, self-titled, back in the day, like 5 years ago, damn, bitch, when did self-title come out? Self-title. I'm gonna watch Waiting to Exhale after this. Y'all been watching Wednesday on bitch, that shit came out in 2013. That's almost 10 years ago. Bitch, next year be 10 years. Next month to be, in 2 months it'll be 10 years. Bitch. Self-titled came out 10 years ago, okay? And ever since then, mama had went and fucked the industry up and said, because listen, back in the day, albums used to come out on Tuesdays. That's when the new albums dropped. You went to the store and you picked it up, and then they changed it somehow to Friday after, you know, Beyonce did the self-titled surprise drop. It went to Friday. And then it went back to Tuesday because of what, you know. Well, technically it tries to go back to Tuesday, but it still comes out on Friday nights. Or, you know, Thursday nights, Friday morning. But, yeah, ever since then, everybody and their mama be thinking that they can drop a surprise album or a surprise EP and it's going to do numbers or whatever. Everybody is not that type of artist, and Saweetie is not that type of artist. I don't think people are literally out here saying, man, I can't wait for that new Saweetie album. I can't wait for that new Saweetie album because, oh, mama got it. No, because most of us don't think that she can rap. And that's just being 100% honest and fair, okay? There's no shade. It's just that, you know, what can work in the mediocrity of the pop world cannot work in the mediocrity of the African-American urban or rap or hip-hop or R&B world, okay? You know, we get held to a different standard. And what I mean about that, we have a lot of, if we have somebody that put out mediocre music, they're not going to pop as much as somebody that put out mediocre music over there in the white pop world, a white artist or whatever. We got one of, in my honest opinion, and this is no disrespect to her, Taylor Swift is very mediocre to me. Very mediocre. And I feel like the only thing that's really saving her from being severely mediocre is that I do believe she can play some instruments, and I do believe she produces and she songwrites, okay? I feel as though her popularity came through. Do I believe she can sing? Do I believe she's a good performer? No. I do believe she makes catchy songs, and that works on her side as well. I do feel her popularity went up and she knew how to ride that wave and to use it for her own advantage was when Kanye came up there and did what he did at the MTV Music Awards. And people felt sorry for her because of that. This black man came up there interrupting and doing all this shit, shitting on this little white girl, which at the time it was fucked up. It was really fucked up. So I understood it. And she took that shit and she ran with it. And a lot of people don't know how to take the momentum of a negative situation and turn that bitch into a positive and to run with that shit and to continue elevating. That's what Taylor Swift did. Even though I can say that she's so mediocre and whatever, and I don't understand why she got this and why she got this, I understand why she's at the pinnacle of where she's at. I really do, you know. Whereas some artists over here in our world, the R&B world, the urban world, the black world, hip hop, we can't do the same thing. We haven't seen them do the same thing, and if they have, it's never been to that level. Okay, for some reason we get held to a different extent, standard. You know, we get judged a little bit more harshly. You know, we don't get taken as serious. You know, but also there are some people that just don't have that talent. And just because you feel like you want to be something, you have to have the talent to do that. And I feel as though Saweetie needs to find something else to do. Like if you want to, and I like Saweetie as a person. Again, I don't follow her on any of her social media platforms or whatever, but I'm just being honest. I never dug her as a rapper. Okay, I never thought that she was a great rapper, even a mediocre rapper. She's a bad rapper. She got some catchy songs, but will I see her ever? Did she ever get Grammy nominated? Girl, I don't know. I just don't see it for her under rapper like that. And I feel like a lot of people don't see it for her like that as well. Also, what plays a part into the fact that, you know, people can have less sales and have a whole bunch of followers. A lot of people are being followed, and especially a person like Saweetie, because she has pretty privilege on her side. She's a beautiful girl. She's beautiful to look at. You know, she put out nice pictures and people follow and like those pictures or whatever because of that. Also because of controversy. People will follow two people that's going at it, not because they like them, just because they want to keep up with the mess, okay? That's why you got a whole bunch of shit. People will hate follow somebody. Also, you have to understand that people will follow somebody, like I just said, because they like them personally, but they necessarily not into trying to buy their music, buy their product or whatever. They just like the person. Girl, fuck your product or whatever. I just like the shit in the way that you handle certain things or whatever. But also people hate follow people. And that issue, I don't understand that. I don't understand the hate following people. It's just really stupid to me. Why would you follow somebody you don't like? It's just like when these stands go against each other and, you know, and I'm going to use an example because this is the main one, like the Cardi and the Nicki thing. And I like both girls. So it ain't no beef here. But you will see a Cardi stan saying shit about a Nicki stan, or saying stuff about Nicki Minaj and Jen for whatever reason. You know her whole fucking history. And then the same thing for a Nicki stan saying so much about Cardi, but you know her whole fucking history. Now, bitch, if I don't give a fuck about a person, why am I reiterating and, you know, throwing out their whole history and knowing so much about them? For somebody that I don't like, I know so much about. Like, what the fuck? That makes no sense to me. It never does. So when I be seeing it, I be like, why y'all? It just don't make sense. Y'all get what I'm saying? But, also, you got to understand that you got fake accounts that's following, bots. You got also inactive accounts that's following. And again, you know, people follow just to follow, not necessarily to go out and pull that wallet out and to support or to go ahead and stream somebody's stuff. We done seen this happen so many times in the social media influence world. It was one particular girl who had over 1 million followers. She tried to make a clothing line, and they had to discontinue the clothing line thing like after a month because nobody brought anything. It happens. And what I need y'all to understand is followers do not equate to sales. Do not equate to somebody buying your product. It does not equate to support. Genuine support. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know. Saweetie, I feel like Saweetie would be okay. And to be quite honest, I feel like it's the public that's more so concerned about the fact that she only sold allegedly 2,000 albums or whatever, 2,000 copies of this EP, because it's the EP, it's not the album. You know, instead, more so them than her. Okay, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. Do I see it for her in the music industry? No, I don't. I don't see her lasting in this particular industry. I see her going on to be like a little influencer, like social media wise or whatever, and doing other things with brands and sponsorships and stuff like she been doing, because that's basically how she getting her money. Because it damn show ain't music. It damn show ain't music if you ask me. And if it is, I'm surprised, and hey, more power to you. But yeah. You guys, I like this little conversation we was having. If you stay for the whole video, put it down in the comments and, you know, put your opinions down there. And again, like if you got some more topics like this or whatever, that you just want my individual opinion on, just motherfucker, put it in the comments, bitch. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Let me tell you something. It is warm outside, and it's been warm outside for like the past couple of days or so. And it's about to be like damn near 60 degrees tomorrow. I have to go to work tomorrow, and I'm debating on, bitch, should I put my shorts on or not? Because listen, out here in Chicago, bitch, once it get close to 60, it gets over 50, bitch. That's fucking summer for us. We be ready to fucking go bucket ass naked out. Girl, I mean, last week we was just complaining about it being 20 degrees. Okay, and it snowed, all right? Now it's hot outside, bitch. It's hot outside, fuck you, man. Anyway, y'all enjoy yourself. I will see y'all later. Peace.